Oh, now Khonshu's fit. Chef's kiss. All right. Khonshu looked great. I don't want to say that, but Khonshu looks great. I really love him. I like his style. He's killing it. He really is. Hey guys, welcome back to Candid Cinema. I'm Amanda, otherwise known as AMX NDA Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Today I will be reviewing Moon Knight finale, episode 6, literally titled episode 6, which is interesting to me. Unless it was just on mine, I don't know. But first and foremost, I do want to give a quick shout out to Stefano Bove Art on Instagram for designing this hat right here. Yeah, like there's not enough Moon Knight merchandise for my liking, but he made this. So go order one. He's a Captain America one, he's a Loki one, and this gem right here. So I'm going to get straight into this review. I thought that the finale was satisfying. That's the best word I can use for this finale. It felt a bit rushed. They were trying to tie everything up, trying to add more things. There were a couple surprises, which I liked, and I'll talk about it after. But it just felt so fast. And I loved what we got in the episode, but it was too much. It was too much for what they were trying to do. They were trying to quickly tie everything up while leaving it open even at the end. But I liked it for what it was. Again, these 6 episode structures, like, please stop it, Disney. Stop it. Stop doing it, please, because it's just not working for every single show. And honestly, Loki and Moon Knight really stuck the landing, I think. And then they had the most complex characters and universes that they created for the show. Even the secondary characters were really engaging. We got to stay a bit more with the characters in Loki, but in this case, I feel like it was the best balance between Steven and Mark, and then maybe a little bit more Ethan Hawke as Arthur Harrow we needed. Who knows? I feel like we could have had a bit more with Layla. She didn't really do much. She popped in and then popped back out and then popped back in again. And then I really, really loved her reveal at the end of this episode. I did not expect that to happen. The suit looked completely badass. Loved her armor, loved her wings. I thought that really worked out. And what a great tag team. Like, hello, you have Mark and Layla both fighting side by side with an avatar. And I thought that was really cool. So I just wish we could have stayed with these characters more. I think I just love them so much. And I love Oscar Isaac. He has given the best performances in the MCU. And I say performances because obviously he had to switch in and out of Steven and Mark the entire time. So I really enjoyed that. But this episode starts off with a nice little tune at the beginning. And we see that Mark Spector is lying down in the water. We see that Arthur Harrow's around with his goons and that he is about to summon Amit. He has the power, he has the scarab, he has the figurine, and he's ready to go. So Layla tries to stop him. She doesn't, but she has to kind of leave Mark there to see where Arthur's going, to see what happens. And she ends up leaving Mark in this like pool of water just in case anything happens. So we see that Arthur is heading to the tomb, he's heading to the location, and there is this like halfway point where there's all these cops and they try to stop him from passing, but Arthur Harrow works his little magic with Amit's staff, and then he ends up killing a couple of cops that are there in order to pass. But Layla starts hearing things. So Layla thinks that this is the right time to go kill Arthur Harrow. It's not the right time. It's too early in this episode, so it's not the right time. And the goddess of Taweret starts speaking through the dead, telling her that Mark wouldn't want it this way. Like, Mark doesn't want her to die in like fighting Arthur Harrow. She's not strong enough and all that stuff. So Taweret, under her breath, is kind of like, well, I need a new avatar. Do you want to be my avatar? And I was like, that's interesting. So we get that happening. They end up getting to the tomb. Layla listens to Mark's message. This is what I found like really, really cool, is that everyone keeps talking about, oh, the CGI is not that great. The special effects aren't that great. I thought Amit looked awesome. I thought the design for Amit was really cool. That whole moment where Arthur Harrow throws her figurine on the floor and she pops up the purple smoke and she's like larger than life. I love that. But again, you have to like suspend your disbelief with these shows and take it for what it is. I think the VFX work has been spot on throughout. Sure, like there are moments where it's not that strong, but the stuff that they came up with for this season, like it's just so good. It's so interesting. Again, things that we haven't seen before in the MCU. I am obsessed with this Egyptian mythology and I want to see more of it. Khonshu also looked amazing in this episode when Taweret kind of tells Layla where Khonshu's figurine is located, what to do in this case. They both have a plan. So as Arthur's talking to Amit, Layla goes out into this tomb. She finds Khonshu's figurine and ends up setting him free. So when that happens, Taweret and Layla kind of have a conversation in regards to how they're going to move forward. If she wants to be her avatar. Meanwhile, as all that is happening with Layla, Mark is in his ancestral plane. And it's such a beautiful place. I love when they did it in Black Panther. I thought it was absolutely stunning. And now in this case, Taweret is explaining to Mark that he has to move forward. He has a full soul now. He's completely full. His scales are balanced. He's good to go. Mark wants to go back to save Steven. And literally Taweret's like, you can't do that. There's no way in doing that. But Mark needs his buddy. And this moment is really something special. I love the writing in this scene just because Mark is talking to Steven, but he's still talking to himself. And he acknowledges the role that Steven has played in his life. So in this case with Steven, it's more symbolic than anything, that conversation. When Mark is talking to Steven and he says that you were like my superpower all along, like I kind of teared up in that case because it's in reference to DID. It's in reference to the fact that Steven is and always will be a part of him. And he is embracing that. He's embracing his past. He's embracing his trauma and how it's making him who he is. He is Mark Spector in that case. Steven Grant is a part of that. I love that scene. I think it's my favorite scene in this episode because of how deep that is. And when Mark places his own heart in Steven's hand, because it was stretched out and like, again, like it's perfect how they placed that. Very solid direction from Mohammed Diab, who literally has my heart, and I need him to direct season 2 if we get a season 2 because he is fantastic. Mark ends up turning to stone as he places his heart in Steven's, and that somehow breaks them both free. And I just really love that. I really love it that he's accepting Steven. He's accepting that side of him, that piece of him. He's understanding his DID. And I really love that. So they were able to break free. Steven's back. Hallelujah. Good times. They walk into the gates. There's like the light of heaven and all that stuff. So Steven and Mark head on out and they return to their body. But as they're returning to Mark's body, Khonshu is fighting Amit, and then he notices that Mark is back. They make another deal, and then as Khonshu returns Mark to his proper form, he becomes Moon Knight again. So here's where the action kicks in, and I absolutely love it. We see Mark and Steven working together. I found it really funny that Mark actually sent Steven. So he sent Mr. Knight out to talk to Khonshu about this deal and how they're going to be working together. And it kind of brings it back to how he would put his defenses up with Steven and not deal with it himself. So I thought that was really interesting how he sent Mr. Knight out to Khonshu, kind of like protecting him in that way. But now, after everything that happened in the duat, Steven's a totally different person when it comes to fighting. So we get this brutal Mr. Knight in these action scenes. So I loved that we got the Moon Knight costume early on. I love that we had Mr. Knight as well. So in this particular case, these action scenes against Arthur Harrow, really, really wicked because Mr. Knight and Moon Knight were changing halfway through these action scenes. Brilliant. Really tight choreography. I really appreciated it. The crescent moons for Moon Knight are being thrown around. So as he's throwing it in like boomerang fashion, the editing kicks in, and it's so good because it cuts to Mr. Knight. So anytime that Mr. Knight throws something, they change and then Moon Knight comes in. So I thought that was really swift, really seamless, and the best that they could do when they're switching back and forth from two characters. So I thought that was really wicked. Moon Knight was flying. He made his cape into a crescent moon. I was obsessed, literally obsessed. I'm obsessed with this suit. I'm obsessed with this hero. I really, really love Moon Knight. This is just so, so wicked, next level. And I'm really happy that the special effects are at a point where you can do this. But going back to Steven, I love the Mr. Knight suit on him. I love that he has this confidence as Mr. Knight and he's still kind of like playful and fun, kind of quippy. And it worked because he's growing into Mr. Knight. He's growing into this persona, and I appreciated that. So while that's going on, Layla El Fayouli, girl, took on Toweret, and now she's an avatar for Toweret. Her suit, her armor, as I said before, really wicked. Such a badass. She comes in the nick of time before Arthur ends up killing Mark Spector in the Moon Knight suit. So I found that she came in clutch at the right time and they were fighting side by side. I thought it was really, really sick how they did that. I love them as a pairing. I think they respect each other a lot. And you could feel it's again, like from what I've been saying since episode 2, it's a different love there. And I respect that. I really do. And now in this episode, we also got to see Oscar Isaac flip from a British accent to a New York accent, and it was flipping back and forth like within the same line. Like that is insanity. He's talking to himself and switching the accents, like ridiculous. So I love that. But here's the important thing. They've been teasing a third person. They've been teasing it. We get it. Now, when Mark had to do the hard part to disarm Arthur Harrow, he blacked out. So who's coming? Who's here? Who's here? That was a really cool thing that they did because he blacked out. Asked Steven, was that you? Steven, no, that wasn't me. Wasn't Mark. Layla was confused. So Jake Lockley made the switch. He's there. He's present. And that's why we were kind of like waiting for him. They did it in a very subtle way, which I appreciated. Again, if this was 8 episodes, we could have had Jake Lockley in the next one and then have an episode 8 finale. I think that would have been a bit better, but we can't have nice things. We can have this episode though. So that ends up happening. And Khonshu basically says, Mark, you're going to have to kill Arthur Harrow because he's just going to keep doing this. And Amit's just going to be released again, and she's going to end up killing people again. The battle between Khonshu and Amit, that was really cool. I don't care what anyone says. Like, it felt like a Godzilla versus Kong fight, and it looked awesome. Khonshu's so cool. Khonshu's such a wicked character. He was floating in and out of sections, like disappearing, coming back, really swift movements, and they were fighting as well. So they were trying to devise a plan to kill Arthur and kill Amit, but Mark's like, I'm not doing this. Family, just set me free. I'm not doing this. And he turns to Khonshu. He's like, if you're going to kill anybody, you're going to do it yourself. So that is how the episode kind of ends. All we know is that Mark and Steven are together and they're back in London. The song from the opening of the first episode plays again. There's 2 goldfish in the tank and they seem very comfortable with each other. But again, Mark or Steven is still chained to the bed every single night because they don't know what's going to happen. So that is how the episode ends. Am I happy with how the episode ends? Sure. As long as Steven and Mark are together, they are there, but it doesn't really push anything forward into a possibility of a season 2. It's just open-ended that Mark and Steven are there with some sort of tie to Khonshu. If you were to come back and all of that, there's still an avatar available, but a full avatar. This just proves that Mark is now whole and accepting, as I said before, And I think that he's more stable in his mind and what he's capable of. So Khonshu's also like, I always have an avatar to go back to type of situation. There is a post-credit scene, my friends. I sat there, I was waiting. I'm like, is it going to be a Moon Knight season 2 reveal, like a title card like they did with Loki? Unfortunately, that did not happen. But we got a post-credit scene. We have a post-credit scene with Arthur Harrow. He's in the psych ward, and it's a different Arthur Harrow entirely. It looks like Amit really took a toll on him as an avatar and kind of scrambled his brain in that case. And we see this man roll him out of the psych ward and into a limo. So I automatically thought that it was Mark Spector's limo. And as we get in there, we see that Khonshu's like sitting there with his legs crossed in the back of the limo, and he's talking to Arthur Harrow. Now, Khonshu's fit. Chef's kiss. All right. Khonshu looks great. I don't want to say that, but Khonshu looks great. I really love him. I like his style. He's killing it. He really is. So he's talking to Arthur Harrow, talking about Mark and telling Arthur Harrow that, like, oh, he told me that I had to do things myself. Little did he know that Jake Lockley is present in Mark Spector's body, and Khonshu just uses Jake Lockley to do the dirty work. So Jake Lockley is now Spanish, as we see. He was speaking Spanish in the final part, and he did the dirty work. He ended up killing Arthur Harrow in the back seat of that limo, and then on the license plate, it said Spector, and they're in some city, don't know where, but they drive off. And now we have Jake Lockley as the more ruthless one. We have Steven as the great protector. And then Mark ends up being the millionaire as he was supposed to be in the comics. So we have the trio. We have Khonshu looking fly as hell. And then that is how it leaves off. So I have to say that this has become my favorite Disney Plus MCU show. I really enjoyed it. Oscar Isaac gave a phenomenal performance. The pacing, as I've said since day one, has been very consistent. They did fumble the ball a bit in this finale. I'm not saying it was perfect. It was very messy, rushed, but I loved it for what it was. So I'm just going to do a quick ranking of the episodes for me. I still put number 4 in top spot just because of the way I had to watch it. And then I had to wait literally a month for the 5th episode to happen. And that 4th episode really stayed with me. So the first 3 episodes kind of blend together for me a bit, but that 4th one with the twist and everything that happened, my goodness, it stayed with me. So then after that, I put the penultimate episode, which made me like weep. Episode 5 made me cry. I've never felt so connected to a character, and Oscar Isaac gave a phenomenal performance, and we got to stick with Mark Spector a bit more. We understood his backstory. I think that was really important, and I love that episode. Then I would put the finale. I think episode 6 was strong enough to kind of close this out. The post-credit scene is great, as I just described. And then episodes 1, 2, and 3 kind of changed spots in regards to the final 3 episodes. I think the first half wasn't too strong. I liked the second half a bit more. But again, we had to figure everything out. It was more Steven heavy, and I respected that. Don't get me wrong. We got great action scenes in the first half of this. I love that we got to see the suit more so in the first half, and then we got it right off the bat. I thought that was really, really wicked. Instead of having the hero get his suit by the end of this, I think that it really worked in that case. And Layla ended up getting her own suit, so that was fine. I really love Moon Knight, guys. I really love it. God bless Oscar Isaac. God bless Muhammad Diab. And then Benson and Moorhead. Thank you so much for everything. Like, this whole team deserves flowers. I really loved it. I really did. I need a season 2. I need more Moon Knight. I need more Oscar Isaac, because this wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. One of the best shows, the pacing, the writing, the emotional connection to Steven and Mark. Oscar Isaac, God tier acting. Give the man awards, please and thank you. Ethan Hawke was really solid. Would love to have seen more of Arthur Harrow, but he did what he had to do, and I really enjoyed it. So, guys, let me know where you rank Moon Knight in your MCU rankings. Let me know which episode was your favorite. Let me know how you feel about this finale down below in the comments. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. You can always follow me over at AMX NDA Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. I'll catch you guys next time. Keep watching movies.